Yep, and it looks like the next game is already on the way, so the people in the crowd and the people at home don't have to wait long for some more awesome StarCraft, and the games so far have been really good.
Yeah, they have. The second map is going to be Habitation Station. You remember what we saw on Habitation Station? We already mentioned it in this cast. I don't think uThermal will do the same. Oh, he's doing it. Oh my god, switch to the game immediately. We want to see the floating command center. uThermal, oh, you beast, you're doing the same thing twice in a row. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, this is the thing. We'll just skip the player introductions. We apologize, but this is just too much fun to pass up. And here's the thing. I mean, Ignite knows what happened yesterday. I bet ya that he saw the games versus Hearthstone in the team leagues where uThermal did this.
Yes, he must.
And now here's the question: like, if you were in the shoes of Ignite, do you think like he's not gonna do the same thing twice? Nah, that's not nah.
He's scouting really early. He must have seen the games that he played earlier on.
I think
And there are a few ways that you can effectively shut this down. And he's just going to take the Cell Nagato. You can see it. Then he will see the fact that there's mining going on at the gold base. But uThermal doesn't know that he scouted.
Wait a minute. Did he? Yeah, I think he was just looking for the SCVs and that was it. So he's going back. And it's all down to, will uThermal go for a 1-1-1 as he did yesterday, or will he 2-racks? Because those are two different responses on the Protoss side that you have to do.
It's going to be a very much a game of what did Ignite expect. I think he did expect uThermal taking the gold base, and what's his response to that? Yesterday, I think it was when uThermal was playing the Protoss opponent, was expanding, right?
Yes, and that was Hearthstone. He just calmly expanded off of one gate.
That was weird.
Yeah, I think he felt really, really confident in his ability to hold off the push. And, you know, versus a 1-1-1 off of one base, you pretty much have to expand as a Terran. Because with the mules and with the gold base, you will never have enough income to match the production of the Terran player. He will just have too many Marines for you. And you kind of need either very good force fields or AoE of some kind. If you go AoE, the Banshees start shooting at the Colossus. You cannot go Templar, right? Because you only have so many storms, but the Colossus can shoot the entire time. And it's also a balance between how many Banshees the Terran player has. Is he even going Banshees? Do I need the Observer? Is he going tanks or Hellions? Do I need the Immortals? So, yeah.
He's actually making a bunker right now.
Yeah, uThermal does not want to lose to something like a 4-gate, I can assure you of that.
And once again, the Protoss opponent, in this case it is Ignite, he's expanding. So he's feeling comfortable he can hold this off. Maybe he practiced something with Hearthstone because they're doing a very similar response to it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they are teammates, and this is a Nexus before Gateway, so I think Ignite realizes that, well, if he's doing this, he's not going to be pushing for the next 5 minutes, so I don't need Gateways. So I'll just get a quicker Nexus. There's a Cybernetics core going down, and Ignite just getting one Zealot in case anything happens.
Of course, if you have two bases, you will be mining more than you get from the gold bases, just because there's less mineral patches there. But you need less SCVs to mine the mineral patches efficiently at the gold base and still get a higher amount of income than one base. So there's going to be that one extremely strong push, just like yesterday. And the question is, can Ignite hold that up?
Yeah, that is exactly the question that I'm asking myself right now. And I want to see the tech that will come out of Ignite as well. I mean, we know what uThermal will do, right? Well, he'll get Marines, he'll get Hellions, he'll get Banshees, attack lab onto the starport, and he'll do Cloak, and then he'll switch the factory on to the tech lab as well, and build a couple of siege tanks. Yeah, I think he built 4 total the last time around.
So that the ideal unit against a composition like that would be a combination of some sort of anti-air with Immortals, I would assume. We did see that Hearthstone yesterday had a good flank from behind with some Immortals, took out some siege tanks, but I don't think you can hold that off with just Gateway units. You're also, of course, going to need the Mothership Core, so you're going to need a Stalker-heavy Immortal army, but that takes a lot of gas. And does he have enough time to really get to that level? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the problem. You need a lot of gateways for this. Well, not a lot as in a lot. I know that sounds stupid, but 3 gateways is not enough, I don't think. And 7 is too much. So you need like 4 or 5 gates with this, a robo facility. You definitely need Immortals, at least 1, 2 Immortals, depending on the number of tanks. And you also need some Stalkers if there are Banshees, but you cannot overdo it on the Stalkers because if you have no Zealots, then you cannot close in on the tanks because the Marines will just kill the Immortals with impunity. You need the Zealots to keep the Marines at bay so that you can get at the tanks. And there's another thing as well. If you wait with your entire army on the high ground, it's way more difficult to defend this kind of push because the Terran player will just leapfrog the tanks forward and get high ground vision with the Banshees. Flanking the Terran player once he sieges up is pretty much the best idea to go about this.
When a player like uThermal takes the goal base, it always reminds me of like something like Little China. You see all the buildings smashed up towards each other because they're all so tightly packed because you've got like this little bit of space and you want to put everything in that. When you check his base, you will see that there's all the buildings, but there's no more space to like even move out. Sometimes the tanks get stuck, stuff like that. But he's done an excellent building placement to just make sure that everything just about gets out.
Yeah, so far uThermal not ready to push yet. He's only on one tank. He wanted to kind of drop his opponent, but we did see that Ignite was ready for the drop. The couple of units that he does have, the Stalkers and the Sentry, were in position to ward that off. Oh, he sees the probe. Oh, I don't know. I don't think uThermal was paying attention right now, but this could become deadly for him because if a flanking pylon is built on the map, then you can kind of keep a small amount of Zealots to the south of the Terran push and then flank the tanks as you go from the top with the Immortals to take them out. And this is a very good thinking from Ignite. I think that's exactly what he's doing right now in the bottom below his base.
I have to say, Ignite so far has been really good at responding to what uThermal has been doing. He's not taken no losses to his workers whatsoever, I believe. Not from the Banshee, not from the drops. And he's just been holding his own and really responding to everything well. He's got good observer placement on the top side and on the bottom side. So he's looking really good so far.
Yeah, he is. There's the bottom pylon being built by Ignite, so he's definitely getting ready to for that flanking maneuver. Or he can use that pylon to warp in Zealots if uThermal entrenches himself below his own ramp. And just go around the vision of the watchtower from the southwest and try to do some economical damage at the gold base for what it's worth. Because the problem against these builds versus Terrans is not the economy. I mean, hurting their economy later on does not get you anything. It's the army you need to defeat.
It's true. And right now, I mean, the clock is ticking for uThermal, and he is moving out. He's moving out in force here, Bell. Look at the minimap. It's colored red as the siege tanks, the Marines, even workers joining the fray. The Banshee leading the charge, and it looks like Ignite will know what's going on. He's going into defensive posture, and this is going to be the moment where the game is decided.
And the southern pylon, the flanking pylon, has been taken out. The Banshee found the pylon, killed it off. Oh, this is... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Only one sentry there. Not enough force fields. As uThermal charges the ramp, 2 force fields go down the SCVs. Move to the side, however. The Banshees are starting to take down all the Stalkers. Once the Stalkers are down, they can start focusing down on the Immortals. The tanks are sieged. Force fields dissipate. And all the Marines are moving up the ramp. This is disastrous situation here for Ignite.
Yep, all of a sudden he's got uThermal in his base, and in large force that is. Everything's going down. This expansion with all the siege tanks are still alive in the back, and this is looking great for uThermal so far. Of course, the supplies are quite even, but that's because he lost a lot of SCVs. Ignite needs to somehow pull this together. He does have an Immortal, doing a lot of damage on the Marines. There's some Stalkers reinforcing from the top, but the Nexus goes down.
The Nexus goes down. The army supply for the Protoss player is dwindling 14 to 30. He's got 24 probes, yeah, sure, but that's not gonna do a whole lot, buddy. Has got 2 sentries up the ramp. He can still use force fields, but no, this is a little bit too late. 1 sentry goes down, second one gets sniped. Nice target firing there from uThermal. He knows exactly what units to focus on. Without the sentry, the rest of the army can just march up the ramp with impunity.
Yes, and the last few Stalkers are trying to hold it out, but good game well played, and uThermal takes game number 2.